Hi, I'm Emily Muhlstein, and this is a public hearing video designed to gather your comments on a framework action that the Council is considering that would modify the recreational Greater Amberjack fishing year and fishing season. So a recent stock assessment concluded that the Greater Amberjack stock remained overfished and continued to experience overfishing despite numerous attempts to rebuild the stock. So as a result of this, at their August council meeting, the council completed a framework action that modified the rebuilding timeline so that the stock is expected to rebuild by 2027 and also reduce Greater Amberjack acceptable biological catch levels and sector-specific annual catch limits and annual catch targets. Now, in addition to making those changes, the council also recognized that the current recreational season does not meet the needs of our anglers Gulf-wide. Now, this is mostly because a lot of our species are open early in the year, but fewer species are open later in the year. So in August, the council decided rather than take action then, they needed to deliberate a little bit further and gather more public comment to ensure that they chose the most appropriate recreational season. So instead, what they did was decide in that framework to close Greater Amberjack for the months of January through June for 2018 in order to work on this current framework that would modify the recreational season in the most appropriate way. We are dealing with two actions in this framework. The first looks at modifying the Greater Amberjack fishing year, and the second looks at modifying the Greater Amberjack recreational season. So starting with action 1, the current fishing year for all of our reef fish starts on January 1 and runs through December 31st. However, the season may close before the end of the fishing year if a species is subject to an in-season quota closure. Now that is the case with Amberjack. And this, it's recognized, may not maximize the benefits of the resource entirely. So the council is considering opening the Greater Amberjack fishery later in the year to improve access and provide fishing opportunity during those later months when some of the other desirable species are already closed. So keep in mind, with all the alternatives that are being considered, we would still retain that in-season quota closure. So alternative 1 is the no action alternative, and that would leave the fishing year open on January 1 through December 31st. Alternative 2 would modify the fishing year so that it opens on August 1st and runs through July 31st of the following calendar year. And then alternative 3 would modify the fishing year even later so that it opens on September 1st and then runs through August 31st of the following calendar year. Now, under both alternatives 2 and alternative 3, we have some sub-options. Option A, we could choose to modify the recreational fishing year alone. Or option B, we could modify both the recreational and commercial fishing years. So moving to action 2, which considers the recreational closed season. So currently there is a fixed closed season for the months of June and July for Greater Amberjack. In recent years, the recreational Greater Amberjack season has closed even earlier because the quota has been met. The council would like to consider adjusting the closed season in order to maximize benefits from the resource. So we have a number of different alternatives here. The first is the no action alternative, and that would leave that June-July closure in place for recreational Greater Amberjack. Alternative 2 would modify the recreational closed season to be January 1 through March 31st, and again on May 1st through July 31st, which would effectively open Greater Amberjack fishing for the recreational sector for the month of April and then again after August 31st. Alternative 3 would modify the recreational closed season to be January 1st through April 30th, and then again June 1 through July 31st. That would mean that Greater Amberjack fishing would be open the month of May and again after August 1st. Alternative 4 would modify the recreational closed season to be January 1st through March 31st, and then again May 1st through August 31st, leaving the season open for the month of April and then again after September 1st. And then finally, alternative 5 would modify the recreational closed season so that it would be January 1 through April 30th, and then again June 1st through August 31st, meaning that the season would be open for the month of May and again after September 1st. So the Council would like to hear your feedback on this framework amendment before taking final action at their October meeting. You can send us your comments either online by following this link. You can alternatively go to our website, golfcouncil@golfcouncil.org, and find the proposed amendments page, and you'll find the link on that page. Or you can simply email us at golfcouncil@golfcouncil.org. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and send us your thoughts.